The new Omega Dark Side of the Moon. There's 4 of them. What do I think? Let's talk about them. Speedmasters, they were already teased yesterday. How many are there? There's 4 of them. So, first of all, we have the Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon. That is 44.25 millimeters in diameter. And they're all 44.25 millimeters in diameter. It's the all black with a little bit of red. I actually think this is one of my favorites, simply because if you flip it over, the movement, which is, by the way, the Omega 9908 Black Edition movement. Now, why is it called the Black Edition? Because it's a fully black backplate, but it is a beautiful watch, and I think it's actually slimmed down a little bit, Terry. Slimmed down a little bit, at 13 millimeters thick and 44 millimeters in diameter. So it's still massive, but it's a nice watch. There's not an awful lot more I can say about it, but it looks very, very cool. I mean, on the underside of the strap, it's got a texture for like the craters on the moon and stuff. So yeah, looks like that one's only available on the integrated rubber for £13,500. That's a lot of moolah. That's a lot of money. It looks very nice. It's very good. I think that movement looks beautiful, but it's just still huge. This doesn't do enough to really tickle my pickle and get my fire going, you know? What is pretty much the same watch, but it's black, white and red. It's got some other differences as well. For example, different movement. Whereas the one that we just talked about was a manual wind movement with no date, this is a automatic movement featuring the Omega 9900. In terms of specs, very similar. All of these watches are META certified, so that is -0 + 5 seconds a day, 15,000 Gauss magnetism resistance, all of these things. But the big difference with this one is it's automatic, which actually means it's 15 millimeters thick.
Oh, that's a chunker.
That is a chunker. 44.25 millimeters in diameter, 15 millimeters thick, massive watch, and still at over £13,000 at 13,100. Yeah, it's 13,100 whether you want to get it on the nylon or the rubber, but it's a giant watch. It still looks very nice though. Still a liquid metal bezel, still a ceramic case. This one's got a date as well, so it's got a little bit more function for you at a lower price. The other one's just more expensive because it's got a black backplate and it's a little bit thinner. If you want function, this is probably the best one to go for, and it's the cheapest.
You're not buying these watches for function.
No, you're not. You're really not, Terry. But that's my advice. If you want function, this one's 400 whole pounds less expensive. It's automatic and it's got a date, so. Next up is the fully blacked out one. How fully blacked out? Well, it's like a drug dealer's car. This is the drug dealer's car of watches. For example, you can't read the date. Did you know they did one of these? It was a Seamaster version of it. Fully blacked out. No lume, nothing. The most useless dive watch in the whole world. This watch is useless in the dark, but I'll tell you what, I think it's so cool. If you're pasty as like me, it's gonna stand out on your arm like a sore thumb. All of these will, especially this one. It's still the Omega 9900 movement, but this time it's the Black Edition movement. It's still 15.09 millimeters thick, so it's still a giant watch, still 44.25 millimeters in diameter, 60-hour power reserve, just like everything else, META certified, 50 millimeter lug length, just like everything else. Haven't said that part yet, but the movement, it's an automatic movement that's fully blacked out. That looks cool. They have literally just blacked out everything on this watch. If you want features and usability, this is the watch that you don't go for. This is the last one you go for. It is the worst one you could possibly go for when it comes to feature set. It also looks really bloody cool. I like it a lot. And on whatever strap option you go for, it's £13,500. But everything's ceramic, no liquid metal on the bezel on this one. It's just an absurd, all ceramic, blacked out watch of stealthy goodness. And last but not least, we have the only one with a different name. The grey side of the moon. It's not the dark side, it's the grey side. And it's not the first grey side of the moon they've made, actually. So, if you're familiar with the Apollo 8 dark side of the moon, it's got a laser etched moon surface on the dial. This is the monochromatic grey version of that. So the dial looks absolutely bloody beautiful with this beautiful laser etched relief of the moon all over it. It's got a grey ceramic case and bezel. In all honesty, it just looks bloody beautiful. This is actually featuring the Omega 3869 movement. Again, Meta certified. It is manual wind, but this is the grey edition of the movement. Not black edition, not normal edition, it's the grey edition. And what does that mean? Well, similarly to the Apollo 8, this actually has those same engravings and stuff on the movement that makes it look all moony. This is like wearing an actual moon on your wrist.
And it looks absolutely stunning, this movement.
It does look absolutely stunning. It looks gorgeous, and I would love to see one in real life. This is my favourite of the releases. It's only got a 50-hour power reserve, which is the lowest, but it's also the slimmest at 12.97 millimeters. So it's still a thick watch. It's still 44.25 millimeters in diameter. It's still a big watch, but it's slimmed down. But in all honesty, it just looks lovely. Terry, what's the downside of that one?
Is it more expensive?
It is the most expensive one at £13,800. On the whole collection, we've only got £700 of price variation. The grey side of the moon, for some reason, is £300 more expensive than the Apollo 8 dark side of the moon. And the Apollo 8 dark side of the moon also has a Saturn V rocket as the hand for the subdial at 9 o'clock. Grey side of the moon doesn't have that, which is a disappointment. Omega, you're a disappointment.
I think it's a little bit more classier without the rocket.
It is a little bit, but I also really like the rocket. You can't even really tell unless you really look up close. It's just a tiny little beautifully finished rocket and I love it. That's the new Dark Side of the Moon collection. In order, we have the all black with a little bit of red. We have the black with white and red. We have the drug dealer. And we have the grey ghost. Terry, what's your thoughts? What's your favourite?
I think the grey side of the moon is my favourite. I think removing the little rocket for me enhances it, makes it a little bit less trashy.
Boo!
And that movement wins me over every day of the week.
Yeah, that movement is lovely. It's just, and also from the front on, there's just a little bit of skeletonization where you can just see a little bit underneath it. It's beautiful. That is my favourite of the whole collection. I am surprised there's only £700 of variation between the least expensive and the most expensive, but they're still way too expensive for what they are. In my opinion, £13,000, almost £14,000 is a little bit absurd, and they're just too thick. Omega needs to work on slimming down their movements and stuff. They are chunky hockey discs. In terms of the actual watches themselves, I want to make it clear, sort of love them. They are so cool. The grey side of the moon is a real winner. But guys, I want to hear what you think. Do you love these watches? Do you hate these watches? And how would you rate these watches? Let me know down in the comments. Whilst you're down there, why not like, subscribe, ding that bell icon so you never miss another video, and why not click that join button, support the channel directly, just like everyone on screen did now, because they're the best people in the world. And do you know who else is amazing? You! If you watched this far into the video, so thank you very much, and watch yourselves. But also, keep up with us online, on our website, watchyourselvesgeorge.com. Peace.